Hi there, my name is Elisa Gallios and I am a widow. I wanted to tell you a little bit this morning about one of the greatest challenges I faced as a young widow, one of the greatest challenges I faced as just a human who experienced great loss. I lost my husband when he was 27 years old. I was 26. We'd been married for 5 years. We were best friends, soulmates, the kind of people who laughed at everything because we were so happy to be together, right? We had a 9-month-old little girl when my husband passed away. His name was Nick Magnotti. He got an aggressive and very rare form of cancer. They still don't know why. And it was incredibly challenging, right? But the most challenging part for me is one that I think a lot of people struggle with now, not just widows and widowers, but anyone who's lost a child, anyone who's lost a grandparent or a best friend or a relative or a parent. Something I struggled so much with was knowing that after loss, I was the sole keeper of our memories. So every single inside joke, every single camping trip, every single time that something went wrong or something went right, I suddenly was the only one left to remember these things, to remember our anniversaries or our wedding night or just all the incredible trips that we got to take, right? And the little moments, right? It wasn't the big picture moments, it was the little moments, remembering the little things. And I was so afraid that as time went on, I would experience more loss of these memories, right? And it's not just old age, right? The longer it's been since you've seen someone, dead or living, right? The more those memories are gonna fade. I've almost been widowed for 7 years now. And during that time, things have slowly started to fade. Maybe you've experienced this yourself, how you're slowly starting to maybe forget the way your person smelled, or the sound of his or her laugh, or the way that they loved to tilt their head to a certain side, right? Or talk on the side of their mouth. Whatever that thing is, it can be really scary. Like, I'm laughing now, but honestly, it can be really scary. Right? Really scary. And I know for me, it used to hold me back and hold me down in my grief because I was so afraid of moving forward in my life and of being happy again, because I knew so many of my best memories with Nick were mixed with grief, right? Some of our best times and our best memories were when we were squished together in tiny little hospital beds, like trying to cuddle and like love on each other with all the cords wrapped around us while nurses were either, walking by and scoffing at us, or most of them would cheer us on and say, hey, we're not looking like you guys. Nothing sketchy happened, I promise. But like just encouraging us to like cuddle up together on the hospital bed. And we would just like crack up, you guys. It was so funny to us and such a way for us to find and spark joy in our lives at that time, right? And so, now I think back to that and I'm filled with joy, but for the longest time, I was filled with joy mixed with heartache, mixed with grief, and with missing my person, right? And I was so scared. I was so scared that one day I would forget. That I would forget what it would be like. What it was like to be the reason Nick smiled and for him to be the reason I smiled, right? And I'm crying right now, not because of how I feel now, but because I remember how heavy that felt, knowing that one day, whether 5 years after his loss, if I bumped my head wrong, right? Or 10 years or 20 years, or what if I lived, I used to think this way, right? I lost my husband when I was 26 years old. What if I lived to 100? 74 years later, would I remember the sound of his voice? Would I remember the way that he laughed? Okay? If you're worried about this, if you've lost somebody in your life, no matter who it is, I want to bring you hope. I want to bring you the hope that I have. So hear me on this really quick. I'm an 8 on the Enneagram. If you don't know what the Enneagram is, that's okay. It's a personality test. 8s are challengers. That means we challenge everything. We don't take something at face value. We dig and we dive and we want to know the truth. And we stand on honesty, right? So for me, I could not tell myself my husband was in heaven and believe that just because it felt better. Okay, I was raised to believe in heaven. I was raised to believe in God, but I had to know the truth and I had to dig down deep. I had to do research upon research and try to figure out, right, from this world we live in, what the spiritual realm looks like, if life after death exists. And that was a whole long journey I won't be able to explain in a video right now, but I did write about it in my book because once I came to the conclusion that heaven is for real, that heaven is literally real, and then started understanding what heaven is actually like, because the picture I had from when I was a little girl was of little baby cherub angels like floating around on clouds, and I didn't want to be a cherub angel. I didn't want to be an angel just floating around on a cloud and like singing songs all day. That's not what I wanted to be. It's still not what I want to be, but I find such joy and such peace knowing that that's not what heaven is like at all. That's not what heaven is like at all. It's so amazing. So there are so many books on this topic. I would encourage you to read my books so you can read about my conclusions and what I found in all of my research. It's not a research book. It is a memoir. So it's just my experience, me telling more of my story to you. But one of the books that I read that I can tell you about right now is called Heaven, and it's by Randy Alcorn. It's a thick read, you guys, but it's totally worth it if you or someone you know has lost someone close to you. But one of the ideas that he presented in there that I think was so spot on and lines up with what the Bible says perfectly is this idea that, you know, we are going to be given in heaven fully renewed bodies, right? All completely new bodies, full of life, right? Every cell, I believe every single cell in our body will come into alignment with the creator of the universe and the way that he intended to create us, right? So minus pollution, minus shame, minus heartache, grief, tears, pain, sickness, disease, anything, right? There will be no cell mutations, including our brains. We're going to get brand new brains, you guys, that hold not brand new memories. We will have the ability to pull memories from our past and remember them with absolute clarity, with absolute clearness and clear thinking. Not the way that I'm talking right now and stumbling over my words, right? But we are going to have very, very clear memories and such incredible ability to recall things and stories of the past. And I think about that now and it brings me so much peace because even though I have so many scrapbooks, and I'm so thankful. I scrapbooked like a crazy woman in my early 20s for whatever reason. So I've got scrapbooks upon scrapbooks of Nick and I's dating days and our married days and our brand new baby days and all of those things. I have those scrapbooks. I have my book, but it doesn't matter if fire were to ever destroy those things or if I were to ever lose those things, because at the end of the day, you guys, I have hope and I know without a doubt that one day Nick and I will be able to recall those inside jokes with better clarity than we even probably ever did in this lifetime, right? So I wanted to bring you that. I don't know who's supposed to hear this today, but I hope that it spoke to you, you guys, because understanding that changed everything for me. It made it so much easier for me when I realized slowly as time went on that I was forgetting certain things about that person that I loved, right? If this was at all helpful for you, please comment, please let me know. I really hope it serves you. If you're looking for more information on this or how to make it through your own grief journey, or even if you know someone close to you that's going through their own journey and you're looking for a story of redemption and hope, you guys, I was the biggest skeptic that my life could be filled with joy again. But if you're looking for that, I encourage you to check out my book, Made for Brave. Right now, I'm living a life where I can look back at those memories, those old memories that are normally, mixed with joy and mixed with hurt. And I can pull out so much more joy, you guys, because I know that the person I became because of my past and the relationship I now have with Jesus because of my past and the joy I have right now was all because of my past. It makes it easier to look back on those memories and be filled with joy. And how much more joyful will I be in heaven, ending up in that place where there is literally no heartache. Talk about a redemption story. I will be able to look back without tears, without pain, and we will be able to recall the things of our past and even the hard times with huge smiles on our faces. And I just can't wait. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you. Hope that was helpful. I'll stop talking now. I hope you guys are having an awesome week so far.